high-level account access. Like, there was that thing that went around for quite a while. It was a tool to measure spacious statistics, and everybody was fucking using it. And I was like, dude, why are you using a tool that is asking for the ability to manage DMs, manage posts, manage all kinds of things about your accounts? Like, why are you giving this kind of access for something that's just supposed to scrape your statistics? You don't actually need much of anything. The ability to follow, block, repost, all kinds of stuff is all in that for some reason. Nobody asks themselves a question like, oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna fucking connect my shit to this and get my statistics, all beautiful, beautiful. I'm like, dude, to get those statistics, you don't need that level of access. Why are you granting this level of access? Are you crazy? If it isn't already obvious, that is the literal manifestation of honeypot. You want a thing, you're gonna get that thing, but it has a cost. That cost's gonna be rendered a long time after you're in. Because once you're in, we're in. Once we're in, oh boy, I can't really imagine what we're gonna do next. Once we're in, you're out. Nah, man, we're gonna group you on this one. You're still in, but you didn't realize that you're out. My God. You know what? It's kind of an interesting thing about like complaining about the whole tipping culture situation. You know, you go to a restaurant and you like get some useless food that you can make yourself, like a crepe, and then they like take 20% of a tip, and you then complain about it online, and then everybody roasts you because of your race. I don't know, man. Like at that point, just cook your own food, man. I'm pissed at restaurant prices. I'm pissed, honestly. I don't like it at all. That's why I cook a lot of my own food. I think it's just not worth the service, really. If the service is shit and they demand a tip, okay, yeah, there you go. I think you have a next level point there. And, you know, if the restaurant itself, of course, you know, doesn't pay the workers enough, then that's a problem as well. But that should be, like, handled business side, though. So it's kind of annoying that you're, like, thrusting it directly upon the customers. So, yeah.
Yeah, but if you can't, I would say though, if you can't handle it, the cost, you might as well not go, right?
Yeah, I know, like, that's what I'm saying. I would just say, make your own shit, like, it's not that bad. And if you're really, really extremely petty, you make your own restaurant. Alright? If you're, like, that petty, then you make your own restaurant. That fucking is successful, then you do better. I'm gonna go to your shit instead. Because, like, why not, right? That's the thing, you know? People have to innovate. They have to not just complain about a problem, but actually solve a problem, you know? You know, I hear a lot of people who are very capable of solving problems complain about a problem as opposed to actually solving it. And that fucking pisses me off. Because you could just solve the issue. It's not that difficult, right? You have, like, the contacts, you have everything that you need. There's nothing stopping you, truly, but yourself, right? So that pisses me off. I don't like it at all. I think it's annoying. Alright, I'm gonna get some butter. Like, the thing that I didn't really, like, foresee was the fact that this dude was then, like, roasted based on his race. Like, that's crazy. So like imagine you like make one off the cuff post, you don't really think it's gonna go anywhere, but then it turns into like a next level sensation. You have like 35 million impressions on your shit. Like, damn, dude, what do you even do after that? And that's huge. Like, if you get quote posted by Elon, for instance, I mean, that's fucking incredible. And only you get like impressions off of that. So I've had that myself. I've had like 40 million. It was crazy, but like generally for just a normal post that you make, just an off the cuff post, and it just turns into this thing. Dear God, can you imagine what that must feel like? Like if that was me, for me, because I'm used to this kind of stuff happening, because I know exactly why such things happen, I just kind of think, man, this is incredible, this is fun. My paycheck gonna look nice at the end of the week, but for someone like that, maybe they're a little bit scared. Who knows? Like that's just unfair. Also potentially a little bit creepy too, because goddamn, imagine that.
For sure.
I just saw this like post come up on my timeline, so I was like laughing about it. And 13,000 comments on it. That's crazy. Yeah, 13,000 comments. Wild.
Wow. Crazy.
I will say though, you go to America, and you go to a certain place, you know, there's culture in place, right? Especially in certain states. And if that culture so happens to be the tipping culture, then you're a tourist. You're a guest in this country. Just respect the culture, man. Like it's not that difficult. Like whenever I go to certain places, and I am, of course, a guest in that country, you know, I do as everyone else does. I just don't make myself look abstract at all, because that's not my fucking place. I'm a tourist here. I'm here to enjoy the country as it is, because that's the reason I fucking came there, right? So that's another little element. Like, do I agree necessarily with the tipping culture? No, because I know what the problem is and how it is caused. But will I myself be protesting it? The fuck I won't. It's not my business. If I think I can do better, I will do better. But if I don't own a restaurant, and I don't have the intent to own a restaurant, then my form of dealing with the problem is fucking cook my own food. Which is what I do. You know, I solve the problem for myself, advocate for others to solve it for themselves too, if they'd like.
So I pick up usually, like, not usually, but when I'm like in the mood to do takeouts, often when I pay, there is a difficult to escape menu for a tip, you know, even though I'm not, you know, like dining there, I always still pay tip, you know, which is becoming a bit of a burden.
Yeah, I know how you feel. I kind of have a similar situation for a lot of stuff as well. But then, you know, when I go to certain restaurants, like I know the person who owns it, I know the people who work there, because I'm a creature of habits, right? I go to certain places and I know where I go to eat. Because I have to know what I eat and I have to know the people if I go there frequently, because, you know, obviously, right? And so, you know, I care about them and I do actually tip voluntarily. You know, if you can make an impact. If you can't, then you can't. But, like, if they render a good service and you really think that that service was great, then you show it through your money. Like, it's good, you know?
Yeah, no, I always tip, but it's just, you know, like, it became, I guess, with all the inflation stuff, it just became more evident.
And then you have to have actual surplus income, and this today's world doesn't have surplus income a lot of the times anymore. You have to pay it on some fucking server somewhere that you need for this thing over here. You know, fucking... Maybe you live in a place where the weather is horse shit most of the time, so you play a game that you had to buy, you know? Or you fucking pay for Spotify Premium so that your brain doesn't rot from all the ads. So, that's where all your disposable income goes.
Do you have YouTube Premium?
Nope. I know a different trick. I watch everything through Discord server.
Okay.
Oh, and if I don't want to do that, I have friends in third world countries. So I just use them as a VPN server. So for some stuff, you're region limited, well you can't watch some stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's the only downside. But for most of it, you can watch it. And if you go to a region, like some island somewhere, that nobody gives a fuck about, you connect to that, all of a sudden, you're technically in a third world country, and there's no ads, because who's going to serve the ad to you?
Oh well, I haven't thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's like, it actually costs less. That has the same benefits as a VPN.
I was thinking to go like premium, because I mean I do like YouTube. Like I like the content is incredible, you know, and I was thinking to go for it, but yeah, haven't pulled the trigger yet.
There is no VPN service that provides you access to a country that's limited. They only provide you access to countries that do serve ads. So that's why you have to create your own. Which is annoying as fuck. Well, once you pull it off, guess what? You got a VPN server now, bruh. Your own. And no more ads.
Yeah, like how Elon solved the ads, you know, for premium subscribers here, it still boggles my mind.
I uploaded that thing to the Discord, the clip we did.
What clip?
Remember we did the little thing we said, hey, what's up, guys? Remember that thing?
Oh, great.
It's on the soundboard now. By the way, I can't hear wiggle. I don't know if I should drop down and come back or...
Yeah, drop that, come back. Wiggle, make sure to bring Blaze back up.
Aye.
Well, this fucking steak is next level, man. Like 20% successful. Oh yeah, I'm 20% successful on preserving the speed at which it cooks. So I still have to like optimize that, but we're getting there. We're starting to taste like steak from a steakhouse.
There you go. Now I can hear everybody. Good.
Did you make 2 or 1?
2.
And you input 2 right away, or like with the
Yep, straight away. The faster you eat, the more you can get in.
You know, I once went to like a place, at a friend's house, and I bought like apparently they weren't cooking meat. So I brought my own meat, and I said I'm gonna cook the meat. And then they're like, these two meats are massive. Like, how the fuck are you gonna cook both and eat them? And I'm like, I'll just eat them. And they was like amazed that I managed to eat 2 pieces of meat. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck type of diet do you have to where you struggle to eat 2 pieces of meat?
It's probably because you eat all this fucking fiber in the morning. Because nobody shits until like right at the end of the day. So all that fucking space is taken up by useless fucking compound, bro. Like, why would you want to fill your gut with fibers? Yikes.
So you unload at night usually?
Mostly, yes. But I actually tend to eliminate fiber out of my diet entirely, so I don't have to unload as much. And when I do, it's not painful. Yeah, but seriously, I tried a high fiber diet. Let me fucking tell you. You'd have irregular times at which you'd need to go to the toilet. Really weird. Your stomach constantly feels like it's full. You fart like a racehorse. And when you do finally get to go, when the body says, yes, I'm finally ejecting this shit, you're sitting there in the toilet and it feels like fucking childbirth. No.
You know what's funnier? You're told that if you're like constantly eating meat, you're gonna have constipation issues if you don't have enough fiber in your body. But the group of people that don't have any constipation, right, is the fucking people that are pure carnivores.
Exactly. Like, first of all, you don't shit as much, and when you do shit, it's not annoying. That's something I've noticed. It's like really weird. I actually don't shit as much. It's just brilliant for traveling. I can literally go like almost an entire day without peeing once. That's another thing. Even though I hydrate a lot.
How many liters do you drink a day?
I don't know. 2 to 3. Depends on what I'm doing. If I drink like coffee or something, that's usually when I have to go to the toilet frequently. Like the amount of caffeine you intake increases the rate at which you have to go to the toilet to pee. So if you take out all the caffeine, you have to pee almost none. You don't actually have to pee as much, if at all, most of the time. Because the body's trying to get rid of the toxin, as the caffeine, right? And so it does this via various different means. One of which, of course, saying "fuck this," I have to drink something, and then, you dispose of it. Delicious. That's funny. So Elon made a vote or poll to decide whether or not, decide which candidate is the most important. Of course, in this case, very interesting number. Turned out to be 73% of people voting for Trump and like 27% would be voting for Kamala. Now, of course, the question is X mostly right-leaning? I'm like, I would highly disagree with that. And it's also odd to say that most of who follows Elon or just engage with what he does are people that support him. And the reason why I know this, why I think that this is like bullshit, why this doesn't make any sense, that like people who support him are like mostly right-wing, or like leaning towards the right anyways, is because look at the engagement sometimes and look at some of the people who normally engage with me. Like, I get some really weird trolls. Like, they would even subscribe to me sometimes, which I don't understand why you'd want that, but you're doing it. So that's fine, I guess. If you want to troll me, but you, like, subscribe to me first, cool. You know? So, like, that's the thing that happens. So, I get actually a lot of engagement from people that dislike, you know, Elon himself, right? And Elon himself does too. He gets a lot of engagement from those people, actually, which is something that is often underestimated. So to say that it is largely, you know, right-leaning makes no sense to me. I totally disagree with that. And then so, to kind of cement this fucking Krasenstein of all people, decided I'm going to post a poll on the Threads. So this guy, whose entire audience is built off of one part hatred for people on the left, and 3 to 4 parts just people on the left, is now going on the most left-leaning platform on this planet, which is Threads, on his own platform, to post a poll. And then say, oh, it's 90%. Which is funny because if it's like 90%, I wonder who the other people are. If you like going to an extreme left-wing platform, because that's exactly what it is, go there and you'll figure it out yourself. To see that just kind of makes me ask, you know, oh boy, who are like the 10 to 3%? Like, what's going on there? So that's something.
It's right-leaning from the position of the vastly left.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're all centrists here. We're actually not erring in one direction or the other.
I would say, though, Mastodon is probably more left-wing.
Okay, yeah, Mastodon, sure. But I'd say it's more progressive. I'd say that Threads is more progressive in the sense that it actually has an audience. Because when's the last time that you've seen somebody use fucking Mastodon?
It has tens of millions of users a month.
I have never seen any single person on here talk about Mastodon. Like, ever.
I see a lot of YouTubers that I watch that... Okay, like, tech YouTubers that I watch, that I like, but those guys are very clearly left-wing. Those guys have always promoted Mastodon over YouTube. Not YouTube, over X. And they usually have, like, tens of thousands of followers, or hundreds of thousands of followers there. It's pretty active, not as active as... it's more active than Threads.
Wow, you get a lot of engagements, Adrian.
Which one, what?
You got like 2 Elon comments in the last minute.
I have?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, one is great and one is emoji.
Wait, which one is great?
On your Trump's post.
Oh, the COVID one?
Yeah. Military COVID,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I really hope he does that because those people deserve, you know, compensation for the shit that they've been through.
Yeah, 100%. That was like a literal disgrace.
Yeah, I still remember that. Like, that was just crazy. COVID-19 was the weirdest thing ever for me personally.
Yeah.
The worst thing was the people that didn't understand anything about it were then the people who were like advocating in one direction so heavily, or trying to like basically report everyone for like not putting on the mask 100% of the time even though it didn't fucking work. And then it was just insane. Like all the worst people, like these fucking bitches from an HOA department coming along trying to control your life. Like it was insane to me. Right now that we're on the topic, you know, the HOA, which I'm pretty sure people know what that is, the Homeowners Association, is basically a bunch of authoritarian have-nots that want to be haves and pester you and terrorize you if you don't follow their weird tyrannical rules. Like, for instance, you're not supposed to have a certain number of cars in your driveway, you're not supposed to have a certain type of car in your driveway. It's insane. You know, oh, and you have to report if certain people stay at your place. It depends, of course. You know, these rules vary from neighborhood to neighborhood, right? But this is like one of those things. Who the fuck needs a neighborhood association? These people can go fuck themselves. Like, I don't have anything to do with it. This is why you want to have your own property independent from all this bullshit, because it's just not something that you can really live under. And truth be told, you know, the people who live under such, you know, institutions really did it to themselves, because if this is something that you value, like freedom is something that you truly value, why haven't you said anything about this? Why don't you do something about this, right? You know, like certain people that complain about this and like they have their own activism on that, for sure. You know, it's great and it's awesome and, you know, it's something that's happening. But why is nobody else doing this at the same time, you know? It's because the problem is, by and large, this is a very, very interesting fact of reality, is that people their freedoms have been taken and withheld for so long that they wouldn't know what to do with it once they have it. To the point where if one day they do actually get freedom, they will actually reject it and see it as largely irresponsible to receive any freedom whatsoever. Case in point, Flux, the largely uncensored AI, you know? What did these people do the moment it came out and it turned out you could generate virtually any image with this? Hey, I'm going to generate a picture of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in a plane heading towards the Twin Towers. That was their response in saying, oh my god, it's so irresponsible to release this. First of all, it's an AI. Saying that it's irresponsible to release something like that is like saying it's irresponsible to have sand, because someone could take a sandcastle and instead of, you know, arranging the sand as a sandcastle, turn it into a dick at a beach where there's like a large population there of a certain age that should not be seeing something like this, right? It has nothing to do with the sand, because the sand by its own nature doesn't take on the shape of a dick. It is you being a retard turning the sand into this thing. So that's the thing that, you know, people don't understand about freedom, is that you've been limited for so long that eventually when you do get that freedom, you see yourself as so irresponsible that you don't want anyone, not even yourself, to have the responsibility that comes with the freedom to basically do whatever you want, like fail, for instance, as well. You know? Is it a good thing that people are creating fucked up images? No. But why would you want to limit an image generator? Just give consequence to the people that are doing fucked up shit. It's like a kitchen knife. Right now I'm sharpening a kitchen knife, and you can use this kitchen knife to either cut your food, or you can use this to murder someone. The majority of people use this to cut their food and not murder someone, but on the off chance that someone does murder someone, does this now mean that there should not be any kitchen knives anymore? Or even so, that there shouldn't be a very particular type of kitchen knife, or that every kitchen knife should be tracked, numbered with a serial number like a fucking gun? Probably not, right? But that's just the same argument. Same thing also applies to AI. It's what most of the safetyists don't get. And I have looked deeply into AI safety. I know how most of it works. But again, it's just a freedom question. You know? At this point, there's a narrative shift where it's no longer about freedom. It's no longer about, quote, safety of a particular machine, but the freedom of what you could do with that machine. And the people themselves, having been not held responsible for anything, and not have had any need for accountability or responsibility, being the ones to reject that accountability and responsibility. And this I see as a major issue. And this is why things suck, largely. It is a strange thing to say, for sure. It is a strange thing to come to realize, but I think by and large this is something that people would need to, understand. Oh yeah, 94% No, 96%, sorry. 96% voted in favor of Kamala Harris on Threads, on a person's profile, by the way, who's like very, very left-leaning, like next level left-leaning. How would you even conduct an actually unbiased poll on a social media platform? I wonder. You could, I mean, to do this, you know how you can have like ID? Like you have ID verification? So I'm thinking, if you can ID verify, what if you could also provide your political affiliation as well, right? You don't have to release this publicly, of course. No. You know, like, for instance, on the account here, it says, like mine, it says it's ID verified, but you don't know what that ID is, right? So, that is something. ID verified account, all good. If you're doing this, then you could potentially also verify which side you lean towards. So, that would be kind of interesting. And with that, you could then say, you know, verify who you could vote for instance, right? Like, oh, you're this or that, or like, this is the many people that actually are, you know. Yeah, I was like thinking that would be a nice way to verify it. Like have a poll with this on, so you actually genuinely know which one of these people are. You know, be additional information. It's not entirely essential. I think it's actually not even necessary, but it would be interesting. But yeah. By and large, people need to calm the fuck down. You need to stop causing so much drama about a poll on the internet. And by that same token, stop being so dramatic over the fact that an AI had generated the exact output that you yourself have asked for. Like, the fact that it outputs Hitler images is your fault. I don't get Hitler images. It's because I don't ask it for Hitler images. You're a fucking dumb bitch who does it, not me. I hate to be so abrasive with my language, but it's true. You know, be responsible. You're hopefully an adult, or like you hopefully have attained this quality of responsibility that comes with adulthood. You know? I've seen largely people are being very irresponsible themselves and then projecting that onto everyone else, saying, if I'm so irresponsible with this, can you really imagine how irresponsible everyone else is? Yes, they're more responsible than you, because they would post dumb shit like that. You did. See, the beautiful thing about free speech is that not only can you do stupid stuff like this, but I get to call you out on it. That, I think, is what most people are actually afraid of, as well, right? So also, I think the British police are afraid of. Right? It's not what you say, but the ability of what you can say about certain things. Like in response as well, right? Dictators and such are largely afraid of the ability for you to say freely what is on your mind, you know? Because it's not often just about what you state preemptively, but what you state in response to a particular thing. There's power in information that goes a very long way beyond the initial thing that people make an insinuation that it is. That's the beauty of free speech. It's the beauty of that responsible thing. Like, I myself too, have to be responsible for what I say and what I do, you know? There's certain things that I don't say, because I generally think they ought not to be said. And there's things that I do that I think definitely ought to be said, like what I'm doing right now. Like, you've probably seen that I've integrated a lot of swear words into what it is that I've said. Now, of course, you know, I think that kind of does a disservice to my character, but at the same time, you're going to remember that. You know, it's like a trick of the brain, where if I integrate swears or slurs into my thing that I'm saying right now, like what I've done, that allows you to kind of remember that, because it's such a abrasive thing to do. It's like, what is that? Normally you have like a discussion where you are, you know, having a discussion, a normal discussion, and that normally revolves around a particular topic that could be offensive, but like, are you actually being offensive with your words? You know, to a certain extent, like what I'm doing with swear words, right? It's not that many people actually do that, but I do that, so you can actually get the point, because it's so abrasive, it's so out of fucking pocket, it's so uncivilized, right? And of course, 100%, I totally acknowledge that. But like, yeah, that's freedom. It should be like this. You should have the freedom to tell me fuck you. Like, I can say that to anyone, and anyone can say that to me. It depends on how you react to that, for sure. You know, like outer.
Yeah.
Yo, outer. Fuck you.
Yowza.
See, there you go. So that's freedom right there. And that's also security. The fact that he laughs and is not offended by that shows you a sense of self-security. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So there you go. There's a little demonstration of how good that can be. This is like the type of people you'd want to surround yourself with. Because I think you have to be a little bit offensive, because that's good. You know, it tests whether or not you have actually a secure sense of self. Because if you were to now get offended by this, if Adam would have like said all kinds of weird stuff and like started calling me out on weird shit, that would kind of show how insecure the guy is. But he's not, right? Because it's like a sense of self-security. You have self-security of what you say and what you represent, and your ability to kind of like sustain that within certain contexts like this one, right? Now, of course, you know, if I would personally attack him, then I would, of course, you know, expect that there would be some defense, of course, right? Or maybe at least some trolling as a means of defense. But, you know, this is what it is, and this is good. I think it's perfectly fine. And people want to realize that. It's good to have that sense of freedom.
Well, I think male relationships in general have this aspect of making fun of each other to each other's faces, but defending each other behind their backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for women, it's typically the opposite, where they talk positively to each other's faces and then talk badly behind their backs.
Yeah. Stab someone in the front, not in the rear. Don't stab him in the back.
Yeah. Always stab someone in the front, not the back.
Yes. Like, I generally, what I would say is what I would say to almost anyone. You know, it's like of course, you know, it may remove some swear words, right, for a more civilized context where it generally have to behave, right, because it's all about articulating your point more effectively, right, but I'd still say the same things. You know, this is something that I would publicly say in any context, actually. I would have this discussion, I would have a debate around this discussion, and I would not shy away from it, because why the fuck would I? Again, sorry about the swear words, but yeah, that's how it is.
And anything bad you say about a person behind their back eventually gets to them anyway.
Yeah. What doesn't at all, that is like karmatic retribution that comes your way.
Yeah. If I talk badly about someone to someone else, I fully expect that person to hear it, right? And it's something I would directly say to their face as well, right? So I don't consider that something like talking behind someone's back, because it's something I would say to their face too.
Exactly. This, by the way, is how you filter out narcissists from your life.
Are you inputting second steak now?
I've been on the second steak for a while now. Like half done with it. I do not like eating. I just don't like it at all. It's such an annoying amount of time that it takes to get sustenance. And then the cleanup is annoying as shit too.
What about upload?
No, not like either of it. Like, I think it's messy. Like, who the fuck wants to turn into a human crayon? Like, explain that one. I don't. Granted, I think there's some people over here that have a very fucked up ass mindset, and that may enjoy this to the certain extent that it is quite irrational, from my perspective. Or some would call that kink shaming. I would call that motherfucker as depravity.
Yeah, remember in the movie like Dictator, like that there was like a concept that Kim Jong Un doesn't have a butthole.
The fuck?
Or no, sorry, it was the interview.
Oh yeah, I was so confused. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Sorry,
I know, I was like, wait,
similar context, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
God, I need a Kim Jong Un on X. That would be so entertaining.
It'll be
I
so
still
stupid.
can't believe Trump actually went there, and like that was like
That guy's hands.
imagine crazy. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It was like, imagine if that whole spat, like it was all happening on X on Trump's side, but it wasn't happening on X from Kim's side. Imagine if that whole interaction had just taken place on Twitter at the time.
Oh my god.
That was.
Dude, if he comes here to X and uses this, of course it's not going to be him directly using it, but that account is going to get absolutely trolled constantly. Like, this guy would not want to post, and if he posts anything, you'll have like some supporters sarcastically supporting it, and the other half is just trolling, like endless trolling. If I was a dictator, I would do that just to show myself of my sense of security. Because if you're really like super powerful, you would look at that and say it's funny.
Yes, exactly. That's what I would do as a dictator too.
But if Trump gets elected, he may actually get Kim on X.
Oh my god.
I hope so. I hope.
Dude, that'd be so crazy. Dude, I want to see that comment section. I want to see that comment section so bad.
Where's Dennis Rodman when you need him?
And I mean, you have Putin on here technically, right? Operates the that official Russian account, right? But it's not like Putin, his face and his name and such. It's not on here, but to have the actual dude on here, North Korean.
There's only one IP. There's only one IP in North Korea, and that's Kim.
Exactly. By the way, you do realize they have phones there, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that the special phones that they made that includes like spyware, right?
Yeah. The fact that that country still exists is fascinating.
I watched a video about the operating system. Every single app needs to have like a cryptographic key attached to it to prove that it's been verified by the government, the North Korean government. So you can't run any apps or any media that doesn't have the cryptographic key.
Yeah. But I think that would be great. I think that would be absolutely great to have someone like Kim Jong-un back on the platform. Or like, to come to the platform.
So, given that Trump has like what 90 million followers, how many you think Kim can get?
No, I think he's gonna get like probably like 10, maybe 50, something like that. I would say that's 100% that actually could make sense that someone like that would get that much, following Kim Jong-un. I mean, look, imagine you're taking this conversation out of context. It's going to be like the weirdest thing to possibly listen to, like me saying that Kim Jong-un should be on the platform. But I'm just saying, for the true execution of the concept of free speech, you ought to have someone like that on here, because just imagine the comment section of trolls. It's just, that's just pure entertainment. And, you know, that would show strength, you know, that would actually show strength. I mean, look, it's not like these memes could be circulated in North Korea. They'd be instantly shut down, right? There's no way to spread it. So,
What would be, if you were Kim Jong-un, what would be the first thing you would post?
that is the most fucking question ever. Did I ever consider that one? What? If I was Kim Jong-un, it has to be propaganda. It has to be propaganda. What if I went with it like the Russians did, and it would like say you can come to the country in some way, you know, like recruit people, like fucking Hotel California style. You may come here, you may check out any time you like, but you can never leave. That's fucked up. But like, you know, what would I post? What would I post? What would be the first thing? North Korean dictator.
I would say post something funny. I would say post something
yeah,
funny.
it's
That makes more sense.
Right?
yeah, if you're that's a good idea. Yeah.
Rocket montage set to Elton John's Rocket Man.
Oh my god, yes! Yes. Underground nuclear test. Oh my god, yes.
Imagine he would post every test result on X.
I know! Oh my god. I mean, look, they're announcing it to the world anyway, as it is. Oh my god, dude, that actually would be so good. It would be messed up, I think, to a certain extent, of course, right? But, I mean, the freedom of this would be incredible. The memes would be so good, you know?
Yeah.
The memes would be amazing.
When they had an interview with Elon, like he actually, like Trump told that story, right, about the Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm surprised he brought it up.
Rocket Man. Oh, yeah. That was great. That was great. I think that whole discussion was just amazing. Hey, imagine it. That's, yeah, Rocket Man montage with the fucking rockets and shit. Perfect. That is, dude, if he would post that, the internet would just completely implode. That would be the craziest thing. I actually really want to see that happen.
So if you got in like on Spaces with Elon interviewing Trump, you would ask that?
If I were to be able to ask Trump directly, I would say, potentially. I mean, look, this is kind of an issue, because if you, like, ask it, I would have to say it in terms of hypothesis as opposed to demand, because if you did demand, that's not good. You have to do it in terms of hypothesis. I'd say, hypothetically, would you think it is possible to actually get Kim Jong-un on a platform like this and have him, like, interact with everything, and potentially even get him to, like, create a montage of all his rocket tests with, the backdrop of Elton John's music, and have that be published as his first post without text or anything, just like that meme format? Dude, that's how I would say it. I would probably say those exact words. That itself would make everybody in the space explode with laughter, because who in the ever-loving fuck would say shit like this? Hey, Elon, can you give me billions of dollars? No, hey, Trump, can you talk to North Korea? Yeah, thanks, Prickle. That was like an excellent suggestion.
You're welcome.
God,
I'm usually just quiet, so I figure I might as well bring something to the table.
Oh, sure. Dude, imagine if that actually becomes reality, though, because of that suggestion. Oh my god. Dude, that has to happen. That has to happen. Can you imagine the sentiment shift that would mean for him, like, as a as a leader of a country, that he shares a meme. That, come on, especially that kind of meme. That's a meme that people would actually laugh about. That would be so cursed. It would be like a dank meme. It'd be cursed, but actually good because it actually makes sense. Fuck. I'm a rocket man. Yeah. It's like a nuclear test underground. Oh my god. Like small cuts to a seismograph. Oh yeah. That would be the one. Yeah. Absolutely. Excuse me. Any other suggestions? If there was X payments, I kind of want to know that from the audience. If there was X payments, would you guys tip me stuff? Just wanted to know. If there was X payments, would you guys tip me stuff? Drop it in the comments. I'd like to know. Honest feedback. Would you tip me stuff if X payments existed? I'm getting tagged here under. Jesus Christ. It's like North Korea memes. Oh, nice. If you're free to bob. Just take my engagement. Nice. Yeah. Creating a book of knowledge, AI organizing proof. There is something that's coming that is like that, but it is an open browser type library. You'll see this in the future. This is coming. You'll be the first to know of the actual library. Oh, nice. Good comments. Cool support. I love you guys. Yeah, tip. I see a lot of people already subscribing. That's epic. Very nice. Happy to serve. Imagine if you'd like me to play some sort of video game and you'd fund that. That'd be so funny. We'd have to do more live streaming though.
Yeah.
I think generally our live streams are very well received.
I think so, yeah.
I'm not sure if people would want to see more live streams, just let me know. You can play some Diablo, probably some Helldivers, a little first-person shooter situation. That'll be fun. It's funny. When I entered into the AI sphere for the first time, a lot of people on the left started following me. This is very weird. And now I'm posting about certain news. Now a lot of people on the right are following me. I'm just sitting here in the center shit. That's why I'm also sometimes a little bit defensive in between, because I kind of need to know who's really here for the content.
Joke's on you, I'm here for defensive content.
There you go, see? And some of us are kind of anarchistic in a sense, where we just want to see what happens if certain fucked stuff gets said, just to kind of test the social dynamics, which I think is good. I'm German, obviously, right? And so, outest tests are usually offending me. Sometimes I get DMs, and I get asked, why do I have someone like this who's so offensive on the panel? Because I want to be offended. Because it's like playing CSGO with semantics. If you're not being offended, how are you going to be a counter-offense? How are you going to do counter-offensive? How are you going to do a counter-strike? Think about it that way. You know? And come on, it's entertaining as shit. How many of you are entertained by the fact that sometimes I engage with trolls by just kind of making fun of the situation? How entertaining is that? There's like a lot of entertainment value.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hell, fuck it, in a couple of days, you're going to see this exact same scenario play out again. I'm going to do next level amounts of trolling. Yeah, that's how it works. At least that's going to be the goal, right? So that's what's going to happen in the next couple of days. And, if you're entertained by this and you actually enjoy that, then yeah, perfect. It is how it is. If the UK banned X, wouldn't that be an opportunity for stalling? I guess, but you still need a VPN. ENS tipping with crypto? Yeah, I hope that's the thing that happens.
As of now,
Yeah, what's up?
Starlink isn't going to be able to do anything because they still need to make contact with ground stations.
Yes.
So you're still going to be subjugated to the UK's laws.
Yes.
But in the future, I could see this being a necessary tool for people that want to interact with content that's going to be illegal in their country.
Fan mail. Oh, what the fuck is that? Like a Cybertruck? Are you shitting me?
Dude, I'm telling you, like, you think yours are crazy? Mine are just like this on a daily basis.
Hey, I want those types of DMs. Those are actually funny.
I also get ranted about you now. So now I have my stuff, and now I have your stuff.
I occasionally get shit about Adrian as well, but not as often as I would assume Michael replies.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like, here's the thing. There's literally no chance that DMing any of the people on the panel here will get you anywhere closer to me. I'm just saying this. I am
All
one of
that's
the
gonna
most
happen.
stubborn motherfuckers on this platform. Okay?
All that's gonna happen is that I'm gonna send it to Adrian and we're gonna both make fun of you.
Bingo. Now, if you think that's insulting, take that as a message, because that's the message. We're trying to help you save your time here.
You know, I think at some point I received a message that was like, "Can you introduce me to Adrian so you can introduce me to Elon?"
Are you for real? My God.
I've gotten some of those too, where they're like, you're talking to Elon right now, right? And I'm like, the more I listen to him, the more I'm convinced it's definitely not. So where have you been?
Look, Elon doesn't go too unhinged most of the time. I get unhinged because I can afford it. Because I don't have billions of dollars in companies, and whatever I say doesn't have next level political implications. What he says has next level geopolitical implications. Right? So he can't really let loose with his autism. I can.
Look at what I just sent you.
Sure. It's like I do sound like, I do act like, all this kind of fun stuff. But let's see what else here. What the? What? Wait, what? What the fuck? Wow. Dude, that
You're
person
telling me,
redefining.
dude.
Dude, I don't know. god, somebody's like redefining the meaning of cybersex or some shit. What the fuck is this? It's not the early 2000s, this is not the early 2000s, and that movie fucking sucks. Like, I don't know why everyone was like so obsessed with those types of movies. Well, because internet romance, because nobody knew how to use the internet. Today's internet romance is, "Aw, sweetie, you didn't have to troll him so hard, but I like it though." Some bullshit like that. At least that's how most people would imagine it to be. And because I hate
I just
myself,
like how right
most
as
of the
they
cases-
just accused you of being gay, and now it's like you have sex with women on Spaces so everyone can
I
hear
know,
it.
like, seriously, pick a lane.
Choose
Pick a
one.
lane. I'm either gay or I'm not. Like, what am I, bisexual? Half in, half out? Like, what am I doing? What are my commitments here? I feel like I understand the role I'm playing. Like, what is that? Am I the receiver? Am I the giver? Am I both? What's going on?
Both at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Roles reverse? What are we doing? Mm-hmm. They're like, there's like this one place that's like nearby, and they make like iced coffee. That's what and I tried it, and it was not too sweet. So I decided to get some, just kind of treat myself. Like, I know, it's not good for your diet, it's not this, it's not that. But, like that weird fucking video from Meat Canyon. As long as it's within my macros, I can pretty much eat whatever I want. So yeah, I can pretty much eat whatever I want. That's perfectly fine. As long as you don't drink this shit every single day, you should be alright, you know? Most of my diet is super strict. You gotta have some fun in between. I look alright, I feel okay. You know, I do well. My cognitive sense of being is amazing. I feel great. At the end of the day, that's all that matters, you know? If you like basically psychologically torture yourself into having like some super disciplined diet, you don't have any fun whatsoever, I don't really think that's living. You gotta enjoy the moment a little bit sometimes. Just as long as it's sustainable, you know, it's fun. You gotta play little video games, you gotta play like a little bit of something here and there. You gotta have like a little bit of that sugary drink that feels like crack when you're having it. That's good. It's good.
Yeah, I never get, when people say that video games is a waste of time. Like, I mean, then you can say life is a waste of time.
Like, look, I will agree to a certain extent that it wastes your time. If you like play certain games that just have no sense. But like you socialize with your friends, you have a kind of conversation, and you unplug from reality. Like, you can decide, are you going to get drunk, or are you going to play video game with your friends? Because here's the thing. When you get drunk, everyone's retarded. Literally, it's literally what it does. It slows down and temporarily even disables to a certain extent, which is why you walk like a fucking idiot when you're drunk, super drunk, the communication of your neurons. So it's like the literal definition of like slowing down the process of your brain, the processing ability of your brain, or even disrupting it entirely. Which is, by the way, the actual definition of retardation of a system is the slowing down of that system. It's the engineering term. That's actually where the fucking term came from. It's misrepresented by people on fucking like Xbox 360 lobbies. The actual history of the word is a little bit more complex, so I'm just trolling here. But the beauty of the video game is you don't have to get drunk at all and have like this common baseline because everyone's like equally fucked now. You have a common baseline that is, you see that group of enemies over there, like right there in the distance? Yeah, we're gonna need to blow those up or avoid them. You see how that one goes, right? We're gonna have a strategy with how to deal with that problem, and we're gonna do this as a team. That bonding is so good. Everything ceases to matter beyond that point. Fucking your politics, your problems in life, this all gets left at the door. You're just here blowing up the enemies, man. You're killing shit with math, or you're killing shit with a bunch of fucking airstrikes and helldivers. That's what I like about video games. Is it productive? Yes, to a certain extent, it's productive. Is it productive in terms of work? No, it's not. Not at all. I highly agree with those people who say that. It is definitely not productive. But it makes you more productive in the long term because you have a way to unplug. Is getting drunk productive? Absolutely the fuck it's not. It is only productive from the perspective of the fact that you're actually socializing, which you can do the same thing with a video game. It is just that you don't have as many damages afterwards. Because let me tell you, a fucking hangover leaves you feeling like you're dead the next day. But if you play a video game all night long, you feel a little bit weaker if you had an all-nighter, but you still feel okay. My blinds are much older than I am, and I'm pretty sure you can vouch for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You're like, how old now?
I'm in my mid-30s, yeah.
There you go. So he's in his mid-30s. I'm in my mid-20s, right? And we both share the same sentiments around video game, right? So like say, the video games themselves are not productive. It just doesn't make any sense, you know? It's good. It's better than getting drunk. You know, you want to be shit-faced drunk at the university, and then you're fucking... You're this random bitch who accidentally deep throats a guy and says, "Oh my god, this was totally not my intent. I just did this. I was not in control of my own fucking brain." Yes, because you were fucking drinking like a crazy person. So you can either have video games or you can have that. Which way, Western man, girl, boy, whatever in between? God, I love pronouns.
The iFunny account is 100%ing you.
Want to come up and talk to us about meme? That'd be funny. I'm not sure if there's an intern that runs this account. If you are, let me take a look. I want to applaud your work. Let's see. What do we have? Magma Luigi's Restaurant. Purple Manor. Well, let's see what's posted 90 minutes ago. Definitely runs live. Nice. Yeah. Oh my god. I'd say post your most frequent memes, you know? Actually no, what you Oh my god. Some of these are great. I think you should have meme suggestions for stuff to post on the account, have people make memes. I think that would be next level. Oh. Your iFunny mic check, you on the stage, you wanna speak?
So I heard you're a fan. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I love meme page, yeah. I also love the platform. Good at aggregating.
You know, the platform, it could use some work.
True.
But I do think a lot of 2014 era memes. A lot of them did have a part on iFunny. I mean, at one point the platform had it was over 30 million daily active users at one point. Now it's dwindling, but we'll get it back.
That's wild.
9gag, right? 9gag also had a ton of users initially, and now it's kind of died down.
Yeah, 9gag. We don't talk about 9gag there. They're not on the same level. 9gag is it's really for a European audience if you break it down genuinely because of the demographic.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, we unfortunately due to very strict data laws and a lot of things in Europe, it's very hard to operate a large-scale operation out there. So unfortunately, we are not available in Europe.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say that the intern running the account, it's very funny because it's actually 9 people on the account, 7 to 9, just around that number.
I remember back when Reddit was good and everyone would just shit on iFunny for some reason. I never got that.
Well, I mean, it's totally understandable. the platform, the platform itself. I mean, it had a part where, I mean, God, 4 to 5 to 6 years of its lifespan, it just went downhill, very downhill. I mean, if you've seen the motion on the Twitter, it's been only like this for the past, I think, since March. They're really trying to. I mean, that's why they hired me. They're trying to fix the brand image. And in this day and age, if a company doesn't have good brand image, I mean, you can kiss your ass goodbye.
I remember they all hated like the iFunny logo at the bottom, you know, whenever there's like an image.
I mean, yeah, the truth behind that is like the ironic sensibility in it. It's coming up more. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of memes on X that are going viral with the iFunny logo at the bottom. It's nice, but you know, it wasn't our goal, but it's cool.
Do you ever consider like removing the smiley face out of the iFunny watermark? Because I think what makes IMG Flip so good, I'm pretty sure I've seen those as well, is that they're not really noticeable. That it's like just subtle, right? So I'd actually recommend removing the obvious hint to that there's a watermark out of the watermark, right? The smiley face. That would be my suggestion.
We've been thinking about it, and it's a tough conversation because it's such an iconic piece of marketry. I mean, if you really think about iFunny, the brand itself, it's kind of a brand anomaly. I mean, really, so many people know the name, but at the same time, so many people either hate it or they used it back in the day. And running this account and the decisions they make, it's like getting rid of the watermark is kind of, it's like, it's, I wouldn't say it's pointless, but it's very much so like, it's so iconic. You know, it's kind of like changing our smiley face logo. At that point, we lose all the brand recognition that we've garnered for the past like 15 years of being online. Because people are saying like, why don't you rebrand iFunny? You know, because iFunny, the name was born back in the day when iApps were still a thing. You know, like I this, I that, right? So the I name, it doesn't make any logistically it doesn't make any sense now because apps just have app names, but we're still iFunny, you know, riffing off iPhone.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Makes sense.
Yeah. So it's
a
tough branding decision. I do agree though, making it more subtle might help, but I personally was trying to go towards like a watermark that kind of pans from top to bottom, like how TikTok, Instagram all have them, especially for videos and stuff. But because you can just crop that shit out. Realistically, the iFunny watermark at the bottom is so easy to crop out. But I think the irony, people like it. You know, it's.
I will say though, I don't think that type of watermark would work on iFunny because those types of watermarks they exist for the creator, not the platform itself, right?
Yeah,
the one that's promoting. The platform is at the end of the video. Yeah.
And that's
if it was.
Go ahead.
Yes, right. I was gonna say if like a lot of the memes that are on iFunny, if we're honest, they originated from 4chan, right? So it's gonna be taken from. Yeah. But if they're originating from 4chan and then they end up on iFunny, then iFunny's taking the credit for it, right? And I don't think people would like that.
There's a big thing we're actually trying to fix for overall the platform's image, because I'm not going to sit here and lie to everyone and say we're not a repost platform, because as of right now, we're basically a repost platform. There's no way to really create content on the platform that gives the user any sense of trust that the platform has content that is originated from iFunny. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're totally right. Right? It's like iFunny is kind of taking credit for other creators' stuff, and we're trying to change that narrative. We are genuinely trying to change it. We're trying to implement maybe some sort of creative outlet to give to our users so they can, you know, we can switch the narrative. We can try to create a platform where users can actually go to create instead of go to repost. And that's kind of it. We have a lot of stuff in our overall kind of roadmap but that's one of the biggest things right now. I think that bugs me the most about the platform is in this day and age for UGC platforms. I mean, if you're a repost platform, there's no point. There's no point to download us. There's no point to go to us if we're going to be basically sloppy seconds.
Do you have like meme templates? You know what I mean? Like you have meme templates so you can like expedite the like that's kind of what IMG Flip does. We can like make that easy. Do you have that as well? No?
Right. So here's the thing about that, and when you really start to understand the meme community deep down, it's not really like it's almost. This is how I like to explain it. It's kind of like a parent to child relationship. So if I try to tell the kid and give them the tools to be, you know, if I try to relate to them, if I try to relate to my son or my daughter and say, hey, I'm cool, I'm hip, look at my meme templates that I've made for you, right? I've made for you. The kid's gonna rebel. They're gonna think you're cringe. They're gonna think you're out of date. They're gonna just, you know, it's the nature of things. But if we just create a kind of creative platform and give them the tools to be creative themselves while not putting too much focus onto it, we can kind of switch the psychology of that and almost let them create the funny stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's about the user. You know, it's not about us being funny. I mean, it can be. That's why we try to make our Twitter page funny. But we really want to keep the creativity in the hands of the users instead of giving them templates that we think is funny or that is trending or whatever, and kind of pull more creativity from the users so that people can come to iFunny for unique content instead of like, I don't know, templates, right? You know, because I think image flip is very popular, but it's very popular because the irony behind the templates, you know, like those are a lot of templates they have are like very old, outdated. And a lot of users use them to like easily create shit posts or shit irony.
And, yeah, but I think you should actually err towards that because actually it's very constructive. I mean, look at this, for instance. Let me show you a meme that I made in terms of text with IMG, but then like I did the rest myself. Let me find it. Where is it?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I still use image flip too. I mean, it's easy, it's funny, it's ironic. If you have that brand image, right?
Yeah, pinned it up at the top. I made that meme because it needed to happen, right? With IMG Flip, because when I want to make a meme, I go there. That's the thing. So if I were to say, if I wanted to like have more utility out of iFunny, that utility would need to be very upfront, not complex at all, and just basically that, where you have not just the meme templates themselves, which I think you definitely should have, because if the meme is old, it's good. And you should have shit posts. You should assist the shit posting community because your entire existence, I think, to a large extent, depends upon it. Just like what we're doing here, because established memes are great. Making a new one is really tough. If you want to make new memes, you just go to like r/memes on Reddit, right? Like you'd find the new potential for something to come out of that. But then largely, if you're looking for scale, you just have something that already works and use that as a meme template. So I'd actually suggest something like, hey, have meme templates where users can create their own memes, and also have the ability for users to create their own meme templates, and then to potentially earn a commission or something off of the fact that they created a very high-rated meme template, right? I think something like that. There would be
I definitely
diversity.
agree with the idea of figuring out a way to, especially not only get, like you said, give the creator or users a creative outlet so, you know, they can create templates, but also I like the part where you added the monetization part. I mean, realistically, that's a big goal of ours too at the end game, because at the end of the day, UGC platforms, if you're not rewarding the user, why would they use your platform? There's so many other platforms that reward users. If you can't reward the user, there's no reason they're going to use your platform. I totally agree. I think, though, image flip, when you understand really like this, and it sounds cringe talking about it at this sophisticated level, but it's true, is when you think about memes and you break them down, image flip, it holds that ironic factor. I mean, no one who actually, I mean, a lot of the memes that are in, you could say, amongst like Gen Alpha, a lot of them are either, if they're made on image flip, it's ironic, and if they're made on image flip, it's either, you know, an older person who wants to make a meme, right? But a lot of these younger kids, what they're using is iPhone apps, or not phone app, mobile apps, like Pixar, Kindmaster, or even a lot of memes are actually made on Instagram stories. You know, when you go on Instagram and you make a story, you type the text, and that's because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that Instagram made their stories and their creative outlets with the purpose of tailoring to meme audiences. That's the thing. When you give this audience creative outlets, they just make shit happen. And that's what we need to do. We need to give them the most creative outlets that they can have in order to reward them or start trends or switch the narrative for our app. Because if we're focusing too much on templates and stuff like that, it's almost like I said, like the kid to parental psychology, they kind of tend to be like, no, that's cringe, fuck you, and then you have yourself a whole thread on X about this is the dumbest update ever, right? And when you understand your user base's psyche like that, it makes things a lot trickier. But I do have a lot of hope. I do have a lot of hope with how we've so far switched the narrative on Twitter. I mean, to keep it 100 with you, the old team fucking sucked. And I don't care about saying that out loud. It was really bad, and I think we're gonna get to a point where hopefully we can see iFunny more on the map. If not, whatever. Overall, the is trying to figure out how to pull this brand out of the hole it's dug itself for the past 7 years.
I would highly recommend generating just memes on current situations. Like, you just look at the stuff that's happening. Like, for instance, I just made that meme with a gun emoji because everybody had a meltdown over the gun emoji. You need to do something like that. That's what I would suggest, because it makes more sense that way. You have to meme on current issues, and if you pull it off successfully, that's kind of how you maintain and expand your relevancy. That's kind of what I would suggest. At least that's what I see. That's what helps me grow as well with memes, because memes are very tricky to create and also perpetuate, and so you need established formats, which is why I always kind of go back to the template argument, right? Because the established formats are usually the best to convey certain things. Creating new formats, I think, is largely kind of a fool's errand. I think that at least probably 5% of all newly created meme formats are actually successful. They'd have to get billions of impressions total over the course of a year for I think them to be successful as a template, right? So if that still makes them relevant, then yeah, this one right here is a fucking old as shit meme that I used to kind of illustrate a message. That's old as shit, but it still worked. You're lucky you got the richest man in the world replying to that shit.
Yeah,
just saying.
No, and it's really about. I mean, I agree. The template has a big play, but that's it on the gamble that people are even going to use that feature realistically, because image flip is so big. I feel like because of the time, the time it's just been established for so long. I feel like if a company came out and tried to reimagine image flip, I want to ask you this: do you think it would work? Right? Do you think if they were to reimagine it, make it maybe mobile, new UI, maybe more monetization for those templates? I just can't see a world where users.
I would use it myself. And I think a lot of other people who would churn out a lot of memes, which is what you'd want, would do that as well. Okay. I would highly recommend going meme template. You need good. First of all, what you need is something to kind of sort in different ways by trending, historically the most trending, sort by genre of memes, and have, say for instance, somebody generates a meme via a template that exists on iFunny, then to have that template linked directly. So if somebody searches for a meme, they search for the, it always has been meme, right? And they find that on iFunny. They see a little link there at the bottom, a bottom right there, and say, oh, here, click on template. You click on the template, you can make one yourself, right? Something like that, just to make just to kind of speed up and decentralize to an extent the meme creation process. Then people will love you for it, and they'll love to include the watermark, because why not, right?
I definitely think you're what you're saying is totally a valid market, not valuable, valid, because we've seen the same concept being talked about being done by CapCut, right? They're one of the biggest template technically companies in the world, but it's mainly for videos, and a lot of the meme templates for videos is very TikTok forwarded, because when you're understanding the UGC space, this was a big thing I actually talk about all the time, is UGC spaces. They're kind of it's funny because TV back in the day was, you had these channels, and these channels make content tailored to whatever demographic they hired production studios or TV show studios to come and make shows for their channel, and those channels had different age ratings tailored to different demographics. Nowadays, the UGC sphere is actually just like modern TV. You have X, where a lot of the stuff is. I mean, now it's political, it's memes, it's more raw, right? But then you have TikTok. It's kind of like the nicer, more Disney Channel aspect of things with a little bit. I mean, there's different algorithms too, and you can think of the algorithms like channels, right? You have Instagram, where a lot of the shit is more edgy. You know, Instagram, I mean, it's been dominating the meme market. It's one of the biggest platforms for memes right now. And then you have iFunny. You know what? How can we create a channel, separate ourselves from the noise, and kind of bring ourselves back to life? It's really hard because we have been around as long as these moguls, but we didn't do enough of the work to stay on the map, right?
Were you an Instagram meme channel, maybe account in the past?
Was I an Instagram channel?
Yeah, account.
No.
No?
No. I mean, I've been in the game a long, like I've been connoisseur for a long time, and you know, my main taste of humor is like YouTube poops back in the day, but I really grew up off the weird shit. But I mean, yeah, I don't have any Instagram accounts.
I would have thought you were one of those people that had the Instagram meme pages in the past.
No, yeah, I just was a corporate guy who liked memes and then got hired here.
That's my
But it's a very tricky market because, I mean, the fact that I'm even up here talking right now to you guys about this, you know, a lot of the audience who likes memes and who are good at it and who make fucking half the memes you see and half the templates that go viral, like, they would think I'm so cringe for talking about it like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, they would torch your ass, right? And that's the thing. It's like, it's hard to be a professional dealing with this kind of audience because you wanna be professional, but at the same time you understand how they think. And when you understand how they think, you start to like kind of pump the brakes on your professionality.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually funny that you're like aware of that. It's fun. But like, yeah, genuinely, I want to use iFunny a lot more. It's just I need the flexibility of sourcing memes. That's all I care about. And if that becomes much more easy to do, then that's like scalable. That I think is a huge future, especially for something like X. Everybody wants to get in on the memes. Everybody wants to have a meme for every situation. You know, especially on here. And so I'd largely recommend that that's something that you guys want to kind of look into. It's great.
100%. I mean, even like a database.
But give me the fucking tools, please.
Well, you know what?
Here's an idea. Just grab every meme that pops up on 4chan so people can just check it before having to scroll through all the porn.
Oh god.
There you go.
4chan is a scary place, man. Back in the day, at least. Now it's more tame.
Yeah.
But like all the memes pop up on 4chan, right? But you're gonna look through it like a sea of porn.
Oh yeah, you know,
Find
looking.
any good
Yeah, I mean, you laugh, you lose threads were crazy. I loved them.
Yeah, those are great. It would be also interesting to kind of like have certain like best performing memes like post those, because I look at the memes that you post, quite a lot of them are funny, but I think they're very specific, you know?
Oh, we tailor to a very niche audience. I mean, and that's kind of what we do to set ourselves apart. I mean, because on X right now you have like there are some things I gripe about X because like I love, you know, algorithms are the future. Right, and it's understanding the algorithms more that kind of makes things a little harder, especially on a consumer base. When I like for example Instagram, when I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling through, maybe I had a bad day at work, maybe I had, you know, an awful day or something, and I just want to go on Instagram and watch funny videos. The algorithm does a good part most of the time, but there's an unfortunate part where I have to be interacting with the algorithm with every post that I think is funny. And sometimes users don't do that. They may laugh at a meme, but they may not like it, right? And I know algorithms work on interactions, I mean, even watch time. There's a lot of significant factors that play into it. but I think there is a certain amount of it that can be flawed. And I know right now our team is we're really thinking about how to implement an algorithm that, we're iFunny. We're not going to be, hosting content about information, hosting content about current events, right? I mean, unless it's memes about it. That's the difference. We're trying to figure out an algorithm that separates funny into different categories: political, religious, gaming, anime, whatever you want. And you can be serviced content related to that based off the algorithm you build, instead of it being content like how normal UGC platforms, because we're not a social media platform. We don't claim to be. We're a meme platform, right? And that doesn't really make sense in this day and age, right? Memes are on all social media platforms. So trying to implement an algorithm into a meme platform is a little tricky. It's definitely a challenge. I mean, maybe I don't understand it fully because, again, I'm not a tech guy. I'm more of a business marketing guy, but I learned a little bit. I was a product manager for a little bit. I do think that when we start to understand how algorithms work, if I'm not liking and interacting with every single thing I like, I may be serviced a video that may throw me out of the loop of thinking that I want to enjoy, or the content I want to enjoy. And at that point, kind of my user experience is a little disrupted. It's not ruined. I think that's a portion that we're trying to understand, is how to fix that user experience problem with algorithms. Because I know on X, it's also kind of like, a lot of the things that are popular are from like blue check marks that are like super clickbaity or kind of, it's like I see a cookie cutter of every other tweet that blows up. It's kind of the same thing. And I know that's another gripe from users on X too, especially with me. I mean, and back to your original statement about our like feed being very niche and like kind of tailored. We're trying to I don't know, it's kind of what we think is funny. There is really no strategy to it. It's kind of just throwing.
I think just open the floodgates, honestly. Like, here's the thing. I think you build up an audience of many different parts, and it's kind of like about balancing this, like balancing demand. You need at least 1 to 2, I'd say you need at least 3 posts per audience niche that addresses that audience niche. Otherwise, your shit's not going to perform. Especially if you have like a diverse audience. Like with me, for instance, I have to sometimes look for breaking news to post because like part of my audience is breaking news orientated, right? And then so, sometimes I have memes that is a completely different part of the audience. Then I have like hot takes that is also a different part of the audience. All of this stuff performs differently. And then on top of that, you have like slow days and all this nonsense. If there's like a particular political thing that's happening and you're not the one just talking about it, then you're just kind of going to fall out of love with what's being distributed in the algorithm up until something is being done that's trending again. That kind of goes into your favor, and then you have like a next level stable period. But beyond that, it's just basically opening up the floodgates and doing everything. So like for memes, that's the same thing. You have to like look at how many different niches can you like sustainably address, and then like say you have a couple posts per niche addressing every single niche, and then kind of like randomize that or like layer it out throughout the day. Like have a day where you say I have like this many amount of posts that I'm going to post per niche of a particular thing that's trending in this particular direction, and just kind of post it across the timeline. And I think your stuff will perform much better than it currently is.
Yeah, I agree. There have been points where we try, and this is a thing I'm trying to explain to upper level management and stuff like that, is I'm trying to explain to them that social media is a place to build a brand image, especially Twitter, for brands. Twitter is the place to go for brands to get that user to brand connection. And, that's why we do have to kind of open up the floodgates, like you say, post a lot of memes that kind of really take into consideration a lot of people's viewpoints on what they find.
Because you're like way too niche. That's the problem.
We're very internet niche, right? Like deep internet niche, kind of like ironic with a sense of, there's a lot of things that I don't even know how to explain it, right? There's been there's been so many fucking meetings where we have a tweet that gets like 30K likes, and I have to explain to a bunch of executives like why this is funny, and it's fucking hilarious.
You know your feeling.
And I'm kind of just sitting there like, it would just be like a big ass guy in a chair, and it'd get like 40K likes, and they're like, why did this blow up? And I'm like, I can't fucking tell you. I have no idea. And I do agree. I think we're still ironing it out. I mean, we've only been on the platform well, we've only been doing really Twitter and the strategy for 4 months, and not 4 months, since March. And we've gained so far around 60,000 followers, and our engagement has gone from 200,000 impressions a month to now 21 million. And so I would say it's going very well, but I want to be doing better, right?
Yeah. Again, like I said, open up open up the floodgates. That's what I'd recommend. Let me take a look at your posting frequency. Okay, it's like 1.
We post a shit ton.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Fucking repost 10, 11. That's just 11 a day. I post like 13 posts a day. Average. Let me take a look.
You know, we
Yeah,
go
like
all
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Yeah, so like that's 14 posts for today. But so like this is the thing. It's about addressing niche, and I'd highly recommend just doing that. Like trying to regulate. Like if there's one thing I would tell to corporate, I would just go straight up. Like maybe I should talk to them. It's about chaos. It's literally just trying to hit the distribution curve, and there is almost no control that you have about any of it. This realization is of course terrible, but this is the way that it goes. So I would say just do exactly what I stated. Expand the niche, see how that works out. It's not just about the frequency of posting, but the content that you post. For instance, I'd say eliminate all reposts, keep quote posts to a minimum, and postings that are like relevant. Just kind of look at what your audience actually engages with, right? I have like 110K, you have 114. Now, of course, you have next level engagement on some stuff. I have also next level engagement on some stuff, but it's kind of like weird to see how that niche plays out. I kind of address all niches at the same time, and that's why I've upped my posting frequency. Because honestly, every banger is a banger in one direction or another, but sometimes it's a universal banger, and that you will hit randomly. And so increasing diversity and increasing frequency through diversity, specifically in this exact verbiage and this exact context of what I'm giving you right now, that is the strategy where sometimes you will hit it big on the distribution curve. Otherwise, it's not. And that's literally unmanageable. You cannot control that. That's the problem with having like meme pages as a corporate thing, because it's an uncontrollable thing. Next level, that's uncontrollable. It's a terrible business to be in if you wanted to appease corporate. It's absolutely like it's one of the worst places to be.
Oh, I mean, it's impossible. I mean, like they're pleased because I feel like they're pleased because on a surface level, it's like we have no idea, and that's actually another thing is I mean, that's a whole other topic. You know, understand like all these corporations, and this is one thing that was our niche in the beginning, was we actually were the account to shit on a lot of corporate accounts, and a lot of them blocked us because we were kind of the corporate account that was like, how can you, as a corporation like Skittles, like Snickers, like Wendy's, have all this fucking money and all this, you know, time, and you still don't understand internet culture, right? You know, and that's a big gripe with a lot of consumers. I know it's like, I mean, you know, Hawk2 comes out, and all these corporations are like, yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Look at the numbers, look at the data. And people, I mean, corporations, they suck off data. They're like, oh, data, oh, it's the answer, you know? And it's like, but they totally leave out qualitative approaches, and that's when they lose every time they hop on, like, social media, because then they get roasted. They're like, wow, this is fucking cringe, you know? No one's actually laughing at Hawk2, you know?
When the Hawk2 meme came out, I was actually one of the people who literally hasn't published anything about it.
It's ironic. Like, our posting about it is highly ironic, and a lot of people don't understand that, which we find fucking hilarious. You know, when we posted a meme talking about Hawk2, and people think we actually think it's funny. I mean, and they're like,
I think it's kind of cringe. Like, I guess that there's like deeper irony, but I think the majority of people won't understand the deeper irony.
Well, no,
personally.
I mean, yeah, you're like.
Which I think is the issue, because like with memes, the ability for a meme to become viral is for many people to find it relatable. This is why you like kind of want to hit it on the distribution curve, because sometimes it's really relatable. Like for instance, I put out a post about fucking hoflation, and that thing got like 8 million impressions. That was crazy, right? And then of course, you know, there was the fucking image of Yusuf the Kirk, I don't know if I'm sure that pronunciation was correct. You know, the guy who was like basically Turkish John Wick, and that made it into fucking like news articles. My post made it into news articles.
Right.
Even though my post, now here's the interesting thing, my post had less engagements than the first post that came out about this, which was a straight up copy pasta from fucking Reddit. Now granted, I used a similar text to Reddit as well, but I named all of the sources, including, in fact, by the way, the person who initially took that image from their fucking TV. It was some random Turkish dude, and I included him in the viral thread that Elon then replied to, and that, of course, made it into Turkish news. So, like, the numbers on that were lower, but the impact was much higher. Right? And this is something that corporate would want to understand. Like, especially for someone like me, I'm a super user of X. I use a lot of its features. I have used a lot of its features and will continue to do so. And kind of experiment with all kinds of things. Here's a question. Here's a question for you. Like, you look at my accounts, you kind of have a gander at it and see what it looks like. How much in terms of impressions do you think I get, like, on a weekly basis?
That's tough. You know, looking at it, face value, I mean, maybe 4 to 5 million a week.
Mm-hmm. And what about a month? What is the estimate of a month?
That's tough because sometimes, I know for us, we have really hot weeks, cold weeks, so that's great. Given that break, I mean, I would say maybe like 10 to 15 a month, million.
So per week, I get about an average of 20 to 40 million impressions. And per month, like this month alone, I've gotten 218 mil.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I don't want to brag about this. I kind of feel bad about doing that, but
No, it's
you know, I'm just trying to help you understand. Like, if corporate wants numbers, those are your numbers. However, I'm going to tell you, those numbers deviate. There's going to be days that suck ass. But I'll be honest with you, with the strategy and how you post right here, this is not going to fucking work.
Well, it breaks my heart.
Like, I mean, look, irony posting is funny, but irony posting is remarkably niche specific. Like, too niche specific. Because, like, if corporate cares about numbers, you need to, like...
I don't think, personally, so when I was talking about numbers, right, I wasn't really talking about my corporation's thinking that way, because realistically, they've been in the online sphere for a long time. And, you know, when you understand where memes are born, and especially the thing is surviving as a corporation that tailors to humor. A lot of the corporations that try to do this fail, 9 times out of 10. Skittles, you know, they do it, and they, you know, get roasted every other time. I mean, like it's uncanny how many times.
Dude, they're doing the cloud chase. You remember like the cloud chasing YT days where people would just be like saying the most offensive, fucked up shit just to get dislikes, and that was like their engagement. Do you remember those times?
Yes, I do.
That's what they're doing.
They don't even. But a lot of companies are scared too. They're scared to amp it up a notch, be more offensive. You know, because I mean, I don't even want to get into the era of cancel culture, but we were the kind of the OGs to get canceled. Realistically, I'm gonna talk about that. Like, iFunny got canceled in like 2013, and we kind of pioneered it. So the executives are here. We're not really scared of that. We kind of like stirring the pot. We like pissing people off. I mean, I don't know if you were here for that, but we got into like a huge beef with Opera GX account. I mean, they're one of the biggest one of the biggest,
That's great.
We were really into beef with them, and they blocked us. But we wish they didn't, because we weren't like super serious, but at the same time we were like, yeah, we don't think you're funny. I feel like there was nothing wrong with having an opinion like that. But you know, they were like, fuck you, I guess. So, anyways, what I was saying is, when it comes to numbers, I feel like a lot of corporations, they focus too much on the numbers and not enough on the qualitative research. We're heavy on qualitative research over here. So the niche that we kind of are trying to really tap into is, and I promise you this, where a lot of very prominent memes, especially on Instagram and TikTok, are born. You know, a lot of these people, especially the community, I mean, these guys don't get enough credit for what they do, how funny they are. And that's the thing that we're trying to appreciate. Build build a very strong niche audience, so at the end of the day, we can at least have a stepping stool to get our brand out of the fucking cesspool it's in currently. Because these guys, I mean, like, they're hilarious, and like a lot of them, you wouldn't even like. There's a lot of memes and audios and videos that are created by these people, and no one knows their names. No one knows who they are. I'm not trying to bring light to who they are because they don't want that, but that's what we're trying to kind of understand as a company is like, instead of going after the hype memes that are just bolstered by normie ass humor like Skittles, I think we just quote retweeted one and they said, "See how I'm on Twitter, very demure, very mindful." Everyone knows that fucking meme right now. And
God, I hate that so much.
and Skittles just posted that, so we're kind of giving them a hard time, and we want to do that. We don't really care if people block us. We don't really care if people get offended. Like, that's a big thing about meme culture too, is you have to be ready to be told you're not funny, right? That's the nature of it. They're cutthroat, but it's all from like a standpoint of, like, I wouldn't say hate. I would say more of like they kind of pride themselves in this. They kind of like love it. They love doing it. So if someone really genuinely makes something that's unfunny, they're gonna call them out for it, and you can't take it to heart. That's how we started. Back in March, we posted. We were trying to tailor to this audience. Oh my god, I felt fucking 14 again in high school. I was getting thrown around. They were fucking destroying me, and I was like, guys, relax, please. I swear, like, I understand it a little bit, But the more I learned about it, the more I realized I didn't understand it. And that's when I started to really reach out to these people and learn the community and understand them. And they don't get enough credit for the companies that profit off of their meme templates and their funniness, And that's kind of like why I like giving them content. They enjoy interacting with them, even potentially bringing them onto the team, because that's my way of giving back to the community. And they get oversighted all the time when it comes to online internet humor.
I question, like, there's one, let me remove some of the other posts. Let me remove this, remove that, remove the Shrek one, remove this. Okay, do you see the second one? Like, so you scroll like to the first one here, see the one where it's like the 2016 gun emoji thing? And I scroll to the right on that. Do you see the Ken Fox one? How would you meme a butter explosion?
Like, accelerate everything. So that's butter?
I think it's butter. He posted a butter related post like earlier before this. Like, we post a lot of interesting stuff in the community. Like, if you want to like post stuff in the community, it has to be native, of course, not just like quote post. But you just like have excess of things that you want to post, just post them in there. Just as long as it's not offsite links, then we're all good.
Right.
But like stuff tends to perform very well in there, and recently what Ken Fox output is a fucking butter explosion. So it's like, I don't know if you can meme on that. It's kind of funny. But yeah.
That's the thing, is like, it's creating a meme is almost like, it's like understanding stand-up. Stand-up is a very hard art. Doing it on the spot is something only very talented people can do.
You need to be actually a teacher, almost, because you have to like teach the context of the joke to then give a drop that actually hits. And if you're not a good teacher, if you don't understand the receptive nature of the audience, then your joke is not going to hit, right? Because the punchline, nobody got the context leading up to the punchline.
Right, and like, there's also the opposite side of memes, where you just have to, some of the funniest people I've met are some of the most brain dead motherfuckers on the planet. Right. They just churn shit out that you wouldn't even begin to think of. So that's why sometimes when I'm like fucking running dry on the creativity, I'll smoke a J. I'll see what's up. I'll drink from the bottle. I'll try to drive that creativity in my mind, to really like get to the level of like, where does this shit come from?
Yeah. My name's Jeff. Yeah.
That's another thing of like our page too, is we try to really we love old YouTube community. I mean, back in the day when it was like I'm talking like OG shit, like YouTube poops, but like 2009 stuff. And it's funny. It's funny because that stuff aged so well that it's easy to really kind of riff on it and bring it back, in an ironic sense. But honestly, some of it you don't even need to be ironic with because it just aged so well. It's almost like in this day and age of memes, we're headed towards a new YouTube poop era of like just brain rot. I mean, shit that's so out there that you don't understand it, and it's really, it kind of just throws you off to the point where you can't help but laugh.
Big Chungus memes are back. That's funny. Well, we're looking through me. I'd say like some of your best performers that are like, very high up. Like, how do I explain this? Like some of your best performing posts you need to add these to the highlights. Like stuff that gains like 1 million impressions, doesn't matter what it is, just add it to your highlights. Because if I look at your highlights, I only see like 4 things, and like the last one is that Keemstar. That was so funny. It's fucked up, but it's funny. I can't believe that you actually posted that. If I posted shit like this, I'm fucking like, this is not something I get away with, but what the fuck?
That's the thing, too, is that's why getting in with the ironic crowd is very valuable as a brand, because
looking at this, you're hitting the distribution curve well. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm looking at the whole thing. You can actually see this. I would say, to kind of if you wanted to broaden it, you kind of do what I said, but honestly, you're hitting the distribution curve quite well. Because you're going very niche. I'm seeing this now. Like, some stuff hits, it's just that randomly it hits in ways that are kind of,
it's very interesting. We still don't understand it, right? We're like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm trying to look for a pattern in this and it makes literally no fucking sense. So that's just distribution curve shit. Literally, you're just throwing shit at the wall, a non-stick wall specifically, and hope something sticks because it's gotta.
Yeah, and
it's literally the breakdown.
That's kind of why I was very, a lot of companies actually, they hire one social media manager, right? And that's kind of like, they're like, oh, are you funny enough? But when I think about memes, there's no way you can have one person on an account, especially if your big demographic is memes, Mixing humors and personalities and stuff like that, I think is what's really going to make you bring yourself back down to earth and to the audience, instead of having one guy try to play God and be the funniest guy on earth. It also prevents people from attacking you, because when there's one person behind the screen, it's a lot easier to attack. But what if there's 7? It gets a little harder, right? You start to not care as much when you understand the trolls of the internet and how they think. It's kind of like if I have 7 people on an account, I have way less of it. It's like the what is it? The Phenom, the Family Guy South Park Phenom, right? Where those two cartoons absolutely survived cancel culture. I mean, and they, you can't cancel South Park. You can't cancel Trey Parker, right? Why is that? Because his stuff is so funny. You have to understand, there's a percentage, right? There's it has to be more funny than it is offensive. And if it's more funny than it is offensive, people tend to overlook it, and that's the psychology of things. If I'm laughing at something, how can I get offended at it? But if it's too offensive to the point where the person is obviously trying to state a message through the post while disguising it as meme humor, they're going to see right through it. Audiences are getting smarter, right? And Trey Parker, I feel understood this from fucking the 90s, and he's like, if I can be offensive but make it way more funny than it is offensive, people aren't going to care. And that's kind of what we do when we get offensive on the account. We really sit down at the table and really try to make it as funny as possible, as brain dead as possible, and not try too hard, but really get to the point. And that's why we kind of get away with a lot of things other brands won't get away with. We also definitely aren't like corporate dudes sitting up on our high tables trying to pander, right? And that's another thing why people tend to lean more towards that's why a lot of brands are afraid, because when they're afraid to interact, and they're afraid to be as edgy as we are, because they don't understand it fully, and they hire people who are bolstered by metrics and data when they apply in their resumes. I've seen it time and time again. I've had people apply to positions I've let out, right? And I'll get people from fucking Warner Brothers, Fox News, ABC applying, and I deny them, because when I look at their resume, I truly don't care where they work. I want to know, do they understand the audience? And if you don't understand the audience, you're going to get eaten alive as a social media manager, I promise you.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. I mean, if you look at our account, it makes no fucking sense. I mean, there was a portion, it was hilarious, actually. We tried to bring back this one meme. Well, no, it's actually, I mean, everyone knows it. We didn't try to bring it back. We were just posting a ton of Big Chungus memes, and we lost like 400 followers. It was so insane, because we thought our ironic presence was there, and we thought people would get it, but we realized our ironic presence wasn't heavy enough in the ironic scene to where they would think this is irony, right? And so we were like, okay, call it off. We're not posting Big Chungus anymore.
Yeah. God, man. Real persimmon.
It was fucking hilarious. We lost literally 400 followers from just posting Big Chungus. And then now, I mean, that was like a month ago. Now, I feel like we've finally hit the ironic curve, and people understand that we don't actually think this shit is like trendy or funny or, you know, whatever. We post it because we were laughing at it, you know, not with it.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I mean, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. I wonder if it's like, I gotta ask one question there. How did you, like, encounter me? Why did you, like, decide to come into space today? I'd like to know.
Well,
Like,
I
what
mean,
made you
if
join
you
the
give me
conversation?
permission to talk about it, I'll give you the knowledge of what people are saying about your account in my sphere.
Go for
You
it.
give me permission. Okay, like, I mean, everyone truly thinks you're Elon Musk, right? And I'm kind of 50-50. I'm like, I feel like you just sound like him, right?
Yes.
And
Yes, that is the accurate assessment.
right, and so that's really why, that's a big portion of why my community talks about your account, you know, because it's like, this is fucking Elon Musk, but then it's like, wait, you know, there are some things that's kind of, some people backpedal. It's all 50-50, right? People don't really know. That's why.
Yeah.
And that's how I came across it. And I was like, this dude's definitely Elon Musk. But my brain brings me back down to reality. I'm like, no, wait, there's no way. You know, it's still 50-50.
There's no way, yeah.
Like, I don't fucking know. So, and at the same time, I don't really care. I like to sit here thinking I am talking to Elon Musk right now, and it makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is fun. This is like, I kind of want to do this because I think that if you're not going to have like a space every now and then, this kind of is like a, you know, things get boring. And this is nice because, I mean, look, it's just such a coming of age thing, right? Just have, like, imagine you're just having like a conversation about weird stuff that's happening, you know, and have like that be spoken of in a very eloquent manner by a person that sounds like Elon Musk on a platform like here. I'm talking to a fucking meme account that's just great. You know, I got Wiggle over here has got like a Cosmic 69. I have a dog next to me, a Doge. They got the iFunny account. I got a person who's like, I don't know, what do you do? Like, you're offensive to Jewish people while being Jewish. There's a really weird mixture of things. You got Alan over here is like a complete mystery. He's like offensive to fucking everyone. It's great. You know, this is a weird thing. You know, it's like being on. It's almost like being on Fortnite and seeing it for what it actually is. It's like the most weirdest, ironic mix of things. Like, you're fucking be driving in a Cybertruck. You're driving in a Cybertruck as the fucking Master Chief from Halo, and then you are taking out fucking John Cena with a fucking 12-gauge shotgun. I mean, come on, that's just insane. You know, that's why I think basically like these are fun.
It's literally like a scary movie script.
I will say, if Adrian really was Elon, there's no fucking way he would let me on his spaces.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's playing into the psychology of it. I mean, Elon Musk is a smart guy. We can't deny that, no matter how many people have their opinions about him. But, like, someone needs to understand the psychology of, like, reverse psychology. And I feel, I'm still 50-50. You haven't sold me yet, but there's no problem with that. You know, I'm a fan.
Okay.
We know this guy. It's not Elon.
If it's Elon, then he's hiding his ability to do like really sick impressions all the time.
Adrian's just a resident autist.
If you genuinely aren't Elon Musk, I would say play into it more, man. Let people just play into the irony of it. I think it'd be great.
I mean, I get that to a certain extent as well, but there's like a kind of a personal responsibility to this as well. I kind of feel like it is ironic in the sense that I've basically become an IQ test for people. Like, I can tell how you know, assertive they are of reality based on how long it takes for people to understand that this is well and truly not Elon Musk. Well and truly not Elon Musk, right? I actually can see which people are the most clever and the most dangerous, even to a certain extent, if you wanted to like get into a debate with them, based on how long it takes for them to figure it out, and based on what I've been able to attain, like kind of ascertain so far. The people who like do a lot of political debating, who are like really good at doing exactly that. Like say for instance, Destiny, the only liberal, bro, he figured it out. It was crazy.
I was there for that space. I was spamming the laughing emoji.
Yeah.
It was so stupid. Yeah, I mean that's based. I actually just baited him in because I wanted an answer to a question, so I can use that. Because people will continue to ask me like, "What does this mean when like fucking have the omni-liberal demonetized? Like, what does this mean when this person like makes it desperate? Like, what's going on here?" And so I said, I need to know the answer to this myself, so I can provide a good answer to those questions that I'm getting. So I decided, hey, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to invite him, and at the same, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to send out two replies. One in which I invite him respectfully, and one in which I just say, I'm going to fuck you up. And I'm gonna fuck you up was the only thing that worked, which is so funny. I literally gave him two choices, and he took that choice. I was like, okay, fine. So I baited him into a discussion here. Then this actually we've spoken twice. The last time I was like on his stream just before he debated a person who was like a Google whistleblower or something. And yeah, I like had a little conversation with him beforehand. I had like a lot of coffee before that, which is crazy.
I would not be able to do a live debate. I would get torn to shreds.
Oh, dude, 100%. The moment you start entering, like if you don't deal with philosophy, and I think to a certain extent what governs this person, and like have a discussion around that, then you're not going to actually have a good time at all. If you start dealing with politics, he's going to like basically take off news articles from all kinds of weird places and documentation of like, there's no way. Yeah, that's no way.
Oh my god, I fucking hate news articles in general, especially from like C-tier ass reporting companies like BuzzFeed and Vice News. That was a personal attack. BuzzFeed and Vice News can go fuck themselves. Because literally, I mean, I've never used iFunny even from when it was popular. I've known about it, right? So I know it's an anomaly. Everyone knows about the fucking brand name. But when you Google iFunny, you're always going to find the BuzzFeed and Vice News articles about controversy on the platform. And it's made my job significantly harder because anytime you try to get into a debate on Twitter, people just post the link. And I'm like, guys, can we just leave it in the past? I mean, like, I wasn't part of this shit before it happened. And like, whatever, to each its own. But, BuzzFeed, get fucked. You went bankrupt, so I don't give a shit.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Things evolve over time, and I think this is something that should be, accepted or normalized, that things actually evolve. But yeah, some things are just weird.
Oh, no, I mean, it'll be like, it's a news article from like 2018, and people are like, look at this, check this out. And it's all just, and there is a portion I had to learn coming into this sphere about rage bait. And for a long time, I have my other admins who help me run the account, and they were always telling me, like, who's always responding to these rage bait comments? And I kind of had to raise my hand. I was like, what's that?
What's that?
Purposefully trying to piss you off and trying to say untrue things to get you to respond. And once you respond, you lose. And so once I learned that, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go fuck myself, because I just fell for like half the shit that these people do. And now I know that, and now the best way to respond to rage bait is with something that's absolutely unrelated to what they're saying, and something absolutely so ironic or stupid that people are like, all right, that was pretty funny, And 9 times out of 10, you ratio them every time. Responding with anger means they've won. That's what I've learned.
Yes.
Responding with not even anger, but with even like more than a paragraph, they've won. You have to do like a 2-liner, 3-liner, and then you win.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've learned, and that was something very powerful, especially when running a social media account. It was like, okay, well, once you understand that, it's like, holy shit, I'm invincible. No one can fuck with me.
Yeah, exactly.
But then,
it's fun. It's fun. Yeah. It's a war of attrition. Effectively, it's a war of attrition.
The iFunny community itself scares the shit out of me still, so I stay on Twitter.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
But the app, I mean, and not to like glaze my own fucking company that I work for, but the app has gotten significantly funnier. And I've actually noticed when you post a meme on X with the iFunny watermark, it gets significantly more traction than a meme without it. I'm not kidding. I don't know why. I've seen it time and time again on my timeline from people who post it. When we post it on our timeline, it just gets like 100 to 200 more likes than a normal meme would. And I don't know why.
Interesting.
Because people think like, I know they see it, and it's. I feel like we have successfully switched the narrative of what iFunny was before. I mean, you would post that watermark before, people would be like, "Fuck you! What the hell? Why'd you crop it out?" And then now it's kind of like the irony behind it. It's like, and also when you go on the platform, people don't understand that. Yes, we do have an algorithm. So, unfortunately, when you first get on there, you're not going to see stuff that a lot of the like, especially our demographic and our people that we're trying to tailor to, they're not going to see a lot of things that they think is funny. But the more they interact with the stuff they do think is funny, they'll start being serviced more funny shit. And it's like, oh, ding, 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 that's how fucking algorithms work. But our company, we don't promote our technological advancements enough on a marketing side where people are aware. So people are just kind of like, your app's not funny. And I'm like, just use it for 3 days, bro, please.
Yeah.
There's a post of someone roasting my nose on there, like, real bad, and it's crazy.
Oh, they're ruthless. I mean, it's probably more ruthless than Instagram. Instagram comments are getting pretty bad, but ours, I think, is the big reward.
It's like infinite content. It's like all the people who are like, it's like 4chan Lite at this point. It's crazy. Actually, no. It's like Live League Lite meets 4chan from
For Instagram?
1 year ago. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the amount of like, and
you be
that's
scrolling twice on like a reel, and you see fucking, hey man, nice recommendation feed. Here's some decapitation. It's
Right.
wild.
and it's
It's
always
fucking
like
wild.
the click to see reel, and you just kind of click it anyways because you're like, I wonder what it is.
Exactly. You're morbid
And
studio.
then,
It always
well-
gets the better of you.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, I just saw decapitation. Great. Now that's what I was talking about. The algorithms are flawed in the sense of it kind of disrupts your user experience that is desired by the user. So we're trying to create a platform where if you want funny content and only funny content, you can come to us and we'll service you different types of funny content, but try to ensure you that you're not going to get serviced a very popular death video.
Okay, how about this? I actually want to buy your idea. So like, look at what I usually post and see if there's like any meme that you would like kind of fit in on that. Just send me that like on a daily basis. Send me like an iFunny meme that you think is like gonna fit into the niche.
Of your account specifically, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I can
I
definitely
would want to try that out.
I'll
Just like
take
one meme a day, or like tell me what time to post it at. I kind of want. So I was like, try it out. As long as it's not, no racism though. Like.
Oh no, of course not. I mean, that's another thing about humor too. Is like, as you can tell from our account, we haven't really dabbled in racism or super offensive shit. And it's just because when you look at comedy, right, and you look at stand-up comedians, and you look at, cartoon shows, adult cartoon shows, when they play off racism and offensive shit too much, it almost seems it comes off as lazy. It's really lazy, and it's a lot harder to be genuinely funny without always having to rely on shock content.
Think of it this way. I kind of post things out of context because I imagine it. Here's the thing. I would not post anything on this account that I would not be fine with a government seeing, for instance. Because there is an inevitability that someone is going to see this. And look, it's kind of funny because, like, you get ad revenue, right? You can kind of gauge by who advertises on your content what exactly the quality of your content is. Like, for instance, there was one post that I made about some sort of news event that then led to the fucking FBI serving an ad under my shit. Which is like the weirdest thing in the universe. Like, you're just posting, and the fucking FBI is putting an ad under your shit. That's so funny. It's like that's so much.
I would be honored. I would be absolutely honored. I'd be like, wow.
Same, absolutely. Like, that's what I say. I kind of post as if the government itself would see my shit. You know, I wouldn't roast them too hard. I would give them a little bit of a fun time. Like, for instance, you know, you kind of present memes without context, so that people can either agree or disagree. Because you yourself are neutral. You're just presenting the thing, and then everybody else can interact with that and present their own opinions on it. Same thing with the news content. I do the same thing this way too. You know?
Yeah, and we also love. We like when people block us. We're hoping that they don't. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, we're not trying to get people block us, but like for example, Keemstar blocked us, and I think we know why. I think.
I think I know why too. Yeah, kind of inkling there.
But deep down, when people do block us, we get really sad because it's like we're losing the ability to make more tweets like that. And we're like, shit, fuck. But we kind of just pick
I
ourselves
got
up.
blocked by a lot of journalists. It's unfortunate.
I would love to get blocked by journalists.
This recently, I got blocked by this big level journalist. Yeah, let me find one of my posts. Fucking. Again, this is like why the emoji thing was so huge for me because it was so funny that had actually occurred. Like say here, let me find it. Where is this fucking thing? Here, look at this one. This post right here. I made this post to kind of like make fun of Seth Abramson, who's like a fucking journalist that nobody really likes so much. But I made fun of him, of that, and that wasn't even the thing that got me blocked. He made a statement, basically like, he made a cartoon or something, where he was like saying one side is reasonable over the other, like he was just kind of like separating Democratic and Republican, and he was like making the Democrats, painting them in a reasonable light, and painting the Republicans in a unreasonable light, as in that they would kind of like bumble off things in a grammatically unsound manner. And then to kind of troll them, I found a clip of Kamala Harris just completely losing her plot, and it was like a 10-second clip, and I posted that as a comment without content, got me blocked within a minute. It was so funny.
Oh, man.
They were saying this, and I just put that there. It's like, look, if you're gonna make a call out like that, expect to get a reply like this. Alright?
Did you put it on the
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, they were just losing the plot here in this sense. And I get this. Some people are going to lose the plot when they speak, and that's a perfectly natural thing, and I'm not roasting you for it. But like, if you're going to put out a meme like this, you're obviously asking for a call out, right? So I replied with that. That got me blocked. It was like, I thought that the emoji thing, this post here, was going to be the thing that's going to get me blocked. Nope.
Wow.
No, it was a small little 10-second reply.
Yeah, I just wish I knew enough about kind of like political memes to interact with it, but we really don't have anyone who specializes in it. And also, it's kind of like,
I would recommend not doing it, honestly. Like, even with when the Biden memes and everything came out, I never interacted with that, and I never really think that's like okay, because if that dude is genuinely challenged, he has like a moment like this, you know what I mean? He just doesn't have a good time, and this is just kind of boiling over for him. This is not something that I think one should make fun of, because at this point it becomes like ethically unsound to a certain degree. You know what I mean? If
you want a demographic that I think truly doesn't understand irony or posting that we do, I mean, they wouldn't even find it entertaining. Is probably people who absolve themselves in political or poli-sci jargon on the internet. I just don't think it would. I don't think it would match at all, and like it would just. That's where I think becoming too broad is an issue.
Yeah. I highly agree. It's like a huge thing, and I'd say politics is not worth it. Like, even for me, I engage with it to a very limited extent, and I roast any side. It doesn't really matter. Like, whenever there's a certain thing that comes out, I will call you out on it. I will call you out on certain stuff. It doesn't matter which side you're on, what affiliation you have, but I will do it sparsely. Because I don't like causing drama this way. I'll cause drama over cultural issues for sure. Like, by basically posting memes out of context. Like, that's perfectly fine, I think, to me. Because, I mean, look, the meme itself is not me. It is not my view. It is just, here's the thing that's being said. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh my God.
You can either make that engagement farm with a question mark, which I think is kind of stupid, or you could just post the meme without any context whatsoever and let the algorithm do its work. If it picks up, it does, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, Then you get insulted as a person. I'm like, dude, it's not even my meme. Like, what are you talking to me about? It didn't even make a claim.
No, yeah, and people, like, you'd be very surprised, memes out of context go fucking insane on this platform. I mean, you could just literally post the most random bullshit thing that has maybe a slight political reference in it, and people would lose their minds. And you're like,
it's beautiful.
Holy shit. It is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful because we love it. I think it's our favorite thing when we see people getting pissed off over a Big Chungus meme, because we're like, thank God, this person doesn't get it. It's almost like laughing at someone who doesn't get it, right? And they're embarrassing themselves because they don't understand the demographic of what we've garnered on our platform. So then Every time. It's so funny. I love our fans. I love our community because they'll come in and be like, "What? You don't like Big Chungus?" And they'll start roasting him like very subtly, not too hardcore, and it makes it even funnier because it's like everyone's just gaslighting the shit out of this person, and they're being like, "Dude, Big Chungus is in. What are you talking about?"
Yeah. Big Chungus. I haven't seen or heard of a Big Chungus reference in years. You know.
That's what makes it fun. It's like wine. The more you just leave a meme to die and then bring it up 5 years later, it's an engagement farm.
Oh, 100%. Like old memes fucking, like, it's underrated.
100%.
I know it's like a dead meme and people get pissed off at the dead meme, but look, nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know? Nostalgia. Why would you play fucking Halo 2 in this day? Because you want to. You know, why not? You know, you play like an old fucking game, you know, it's the same shit as an old meme. It doesn't mean that it's not relevant anymore. I'd even say that some memes age like fine wine. You can literally have, like, if you can have 200-year-old wine from the Victorian era, and it's like people drink this shit and they say, oh, it's delectable, it's beautiful, it's fucking amazing. You know, if you have something like that, the same applies to memes. You know, it's just what I'm saying. They age like fine wine, especially the older they are. It's like, if it survives for this long, it's crazy.
And it's even better too because then, you know, when you do start to bring it back online, people will, there's two sides to it. They'll either understand the irony or they will genuinely think you think it's funny. But it's also even funnier when the ironic people think we're being ironic, but we're sitting there laughing in a fucking Discord call, like super hard over just a dumbass Big Chungus meme we found on Google Images. And it's like we start to feel like bad about ourselves because we're like, wow, we're like, they think we're being ironic, but we're actually laughing at it because it's genuinely still funny, but we don't want to like say that, you know? So we'll just be like, all right, yeah, it's irony. Whoa, it's irony, that's crazy. You know, you kind of build yourself this shield of like, what are we thinking? What do they think we're thinking? And no one knows at that point, so it's just a big cauldron of confusion.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what gives you the shield to survive, you know? If you're posting like Skittles on, you know, these new age memes, like very demure, very cutesy, and you haven't built up your ironic voice about it, they're gonna take you for face value, and when they take you for face value, you've literally fucking lost. Because you can't come back. Like, that's why out of the gate, when I first got my hands on this account and was hired by the company, I did not start irony posting. There's no point to start irony posting because they're literally going to think you're being legit, 100%.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like you have no way to convince them. So you just have to be genuinely funny of what is actually trending and what they do think is funny. And it's hilarious because once you get to that point, you can actually develop yourself this ironic shield, and that's the main point. Like, I think when brands start to actually understand irony, which they never will because the community will never allow them to. No matter what, even if a brand is funny, they will still get shit on. And that's the curse of running a brand account. It will always be, they hate you. And it's okay. It's okay because, I mean, I'm not trying to be the next biggest meme page. We're kind of like, the whole goal of social media for iFunny is to really just try to be funny. If we're not funny, get shit on, and then, you know, to the next day, you know, to the next adventure. And we just forget about it. We don't care. Because also that's another thing that plays into the point of it. It's like attention spans to this day. I don't think people understand, like, do you remember when Twitter was talking about the Mr. Beast stuff and now it's ceased to exist? It's like,
I know, right, dude?
The attention span,
the funniest thing for me in this was I made a comment several months ago under the first amount of drama that came out about Mr. Beast was that the island wasn't truly abandoned the way that they said it was, and I just made an off-the-cuff comment to just piss everybody off, and I said, dude, why is everybody getting like unhinged? Why is everybody like getting, you know, so unhinged about this? It's just literally an entertainment video, something along those lines. I made that comment a couple months ago, and it's been featured in the big, you know, debug of Mr. Beast. I was like, there's no fucking way. My fucking comment from my throwaway comment from 3 months ago is in a YouTube video with 10 million views on it. What the fuck? And then somebody did a breakdown on that video, and my comment was still in it.
Yeah, no,
I'm just sitting there, I'm like, dude, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself how my comments, my throwaway comment on fucking X, is gonna live rent free in multiple fucking YouTube videos, and people are gonna dislike me and like me at the same time.
Yeah, and that's just YouTube commentary, though, man. Those guys they reach every time. I mean, there's a lot of unbiased ones that genuinely try to cover the story, but a majority
Like the
of
fucking
YouTube
internet
commentary-
anarchists. What do you think of them? Oops, shit, my fucking cord just ripped out. No, like, what do you think about the internet anarchists, though?
I don't think I'm familiar.
The guy does, breakdowns. It's kind of like Sunny V2, like video essay breakdown.
Okay, I think.
It's like Sunny V2, but less on the accusatory element.
Yeah. Okay, so he's kind of more. Is he more like an unbiased breakdown or like an accuser of YouTube commentary?
He's more of an unbiased breakdown. In my opinion, I like watching his content actually.
I'll have to give him a shot because I haven't actually seen him as part of the YouTube commentary scene, even though I know a little bit. But I should have seen him by now. I feel like it was embarrassing, but yeah, I haven't actually checked this guy out. I'll give him a watch.
Which one of the admins on the iFinding account DM'd me?
That was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay. I just had to ask, just out of pocket, wait.
No, you're totally fine. I mean, we have I'm the head admin, so I'm the guy in charge, and then I have my team, and they're the best team I could have ever garnered. They are from the community too, and
Sweet.
it's a pleasure. But yeah, I'm mainly the one who's always gonna be DMing people. Sometimes they like to do it for fun too, but it's gonna be me probably. And I just saw a comment actually, I think under one of my things, and it's always these comments that are the bane of my fucking existence, because I will get people every time. I mean, from the day I started in March, they will say, "Didn't someone commit murder from your app?" And I'm like, what's the fucking point being made here? Every time, because I guess there was a controversy back in the day about someone being on the platform who was like a fascist basically, and they actually did, and they were an iFunny user, but they did go out and commit a crime and were convicted, and that's the story behind it, right? But the thing about that argument I find so fucking stupid is that if you go to our controversy section on Wikipedia and look at it, it's like 2 pages maybe. If you go on the controversy section of Facebook, it's fucking a mile long. and it's always people who are like, didn't this happen on your app? Didn't a user on your app do this? And I'm like, dude, the same argument could be used as didn't this guy who shopped at Target fucking kill 30 people? What is the argument trying to be made here? Right? And it's we don't condone it. We've never condoned it. We don't support it. We don't do. We've never done any of that, right? And it's always that argument. It's didn't this happen? Did this happen? And then they quote BuzzFeed and Vice News, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Get a reliable source. Fuck Vice News. Fuck BuzzFeed in the ass, and literally stop doing the argument. And it's one of the things that still rage bait gets me. Because I fucking know they're doing it to rage bait me, but I just ignore it. Because it's such a stupid fucking argument.
Yeah.
Side note.
Damn. I can't find the comment. I'll probably find out some other time. But that's the weirdest thing ever. Just that. So,
I mean, we deal with internet trolls to another level. I mean, iFunny. I mean, we are part of. I would guess you'd say old internet, deep internet. It was a.
GDMs must be so cursed.
Oh, I only have verified users being able to DM us. It was so bad. At one point, I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we have tons of people trying to just, bring the app down, spread misinformation. I mean, that's the internet. If you choose to believe it without solid evidence, I mean, you're no better than a sheep. I don't really care.
Yes. Yeah. That just happens. I think it's annoying. By the way, one of the recent developments of exactly this problem is that an entire subreddit dedicated to hating on Elon Musk has been, I think, largely obsessed with me instead of Elon, which is the funniest bullshit ever. It's that's living rent-free in their heads now. This is the Elon Musk account.
That's what I was telling you. I was like, the only reason I heard about your account was because people were genuinely convinced you were Elon Musk.
I assume that the DMs I get is exactly the reason why Elon keeps his DMs closed. Because holy fucking Christ.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
I keep them open kind of because a morbid curiosity, I suppose, I really don't want to keep them open. But I keep them open to verified users. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah. I keep them open for verified users because 9 times out of 10 verified users actually don't message me heinous shit. But like unverified users, I would say turn that off because it just helps your mental health so much more, especially if you're like dedicated to being online and building your page. Like seeing that shit, I was like, good lord, why? There was a portion where I didn't have any help on the account for the first 3 to 4 months. It was actually just me, and I had to convince my team to like let me hire people because my mind was melting. I mean, I gotta give props to social media managers, you know, especially the ones that do dedicate to really trying to like understand the community and be part of it. It gets bad. It gets so fucking bad. You know, but like social media managers who just post like shit posts of like updates for their apps and like other stuff that I think is stupid and shouldn't be used for social media. Like it's like social media managers for a lot of larger companies, especially tech companies, like I get it. There's no reason for them to pander to an audience, you know, specific niche or memes or whatever. For some there is a correlation, but I mean, most of them, they do just use social media to post like, I mean, for example, like a lot of gaming companies, they find it easier to tailor their brands to the niche meme audience and try to be funny on socials. But if you have like clothing brands and stuff like that, it's like a lot harder for them to, I mean, not clothing, because clothing actually kind of coincides with memes a lot more than you would think. I kind of think like maybe like Target or Walmart or like something that's like just retail, right? You know, I find their time on social media a lot harder and a lot more difficult to entertain because it's like, what do you do? How do you get engagement? What would people like to see? Because no one wants to see like, oh, we have 20% off socks this weekend. You're not going to get engagement. No one gives a fuck. You know, and so that's like, I think a lot of big retail brands have a very hard time entering like a social media space that actually benefits them. So that's why I don't have a lot of respect for social media managers because one, I've never been a social media manager ever. That's not my expertise. That's not my field. This was something I was hired to iFunny for something completely separate, and they were like, "Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Okay." And our strategy crushed it in the first like 3 or 4 months. Not to glaze myself or anything, but you know, when we got the engagement we did, it kind of became like, "Hey, keep doing it." And I was like, "Fuck me, I don't want to do this," because it's a pain in the ass. And after I realized like how easy it is, you know, it's not easy, but there's a lot of factors that play into it. You know, I would say Twitter is a lot harder for brands to like. It's really good for brands that can pander to the meme and community audience if they do it right. But it's a lot harder for brands that can't do that. If brands can't pander to the funny audiences or whatever, I feel like they tend to struggle a lot. Like random brands, like household products, right? What are they going to use X for? How are they going to build that relationship with consumers? How are they going to get on the algorithm, right? And meet the distribution curve, like you were saying, without being funny or without some sort of stirring the pot, without some sort of being loud, right? And I think, I don't know, a lot of them survive better on like TikTok because it's just more like mom and pop fucking Disney Channel type shit.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. By the way, if you ever want to like have a conversation on Discord, just like add me. I'll like send you an ID. But
yeah, I'll message you. I'll add you on the Discord. I'll message you. I actually do have to go right now. It's been late, but I appreciate you for having me on. It's fun talking about memes. Thank you so much.
Yes, my pleasure, man.
Yeah, loved it. All right, take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, brother. Well, that's fucking amazing. Very nice.
Yeah, it was nice discussion.
What do we say? We wrap up the space tonight, and I want to do some gaming, about some stuff. Maybe I'll do a live stream if I feel like I want to do it. But yeah, I guess like, what do you think? We're rocking it here.
Yeah, we could rock.
Sure.
Cool. Well, I mean, same time, same place tomorrow. It's gonna be great. Yeah. See you all around. beautiful night. When I'm gonna post a meme, at like 6 in the morning, that's gonna be great. You know what that meme is?